Hi there, I'm Ciara Whelan and you're welcome once again to Ireland County by County, the show which explores the sights and sounds, the places to visit, the culture and the food which our country has to offer. This time we're exploring Ireland's hidden heartlands in a county perfect for the great outdoors. From expansive boglands to riverside towns, this county is bordered by the famous River Shannon and it has a wealth of history and natural wonders. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be exploring the first resort ever established in Ireland, which is up to 400 acres of trees, wildlife and natural landscapes, and an array of activities to choose from, including lots of water sports at the largest water park in the country. Learning about the locally produced meat, poultry and homegrown seasonal vegetables in the area, and getting some tips from Fiona Egan with a hands-on cooking class. Visiting a beautiful 17th century manor and 4-acre estate with a meticulously maintained garden and incredible countryside surroundings. Experiencing a time when knights and conquerors roamed ancient Ireland's hidden heartland during the age of the Anglo-Normans. All this as well as scenic green landscapes, welcoming locals and a rich history with ancient monuments dating back thousands of years, all waiting to be explored. Welcome to County Longford. Situated right in the middle of the island, Longford is a paradise of green landscapes placed right at the basin of the River Shannon, with Lough Ree tracing part of the county's western border. It's also surrounded by Lough Gowna in the north and Lough Kinnail and Derraloch in the east, which is why much of the county is characteristically shaped by lakes, bogs and wetlands. This allows for vast green pastures with trickling streams, wonderful waterways and magical treks and trails, very appropriately named Ireland's Hidden Heartlands. With an ancient history that can be traced back to the 5th century, Longford is rich with incredible, well-preserved national monuments. I'm visiting the picturesque town of Granard, which is the site of Ireland's tallest Norman moat at 544 feet high. It dates back to 1199 when it was built by the Lord Chief Justice of Ireland, Richard de Thot. Granard has a deep appreciation for history, making it the perfect place for the Knights and Conquests Heritage Centre, where visitors can indulge in an immersive museum experience to learn more about what it was like to live in Norman Ireland. This is beautiful Granard, home to Longford's latest tourist attraction, Knights and Conquests Heritage Centre, where I'm going to learn all about the Normans. Deirdre, you are actually dressed as a Norman and we're standing on a moat and bailey. Tell me, what is a moat and bailey?
A moat and bailey, it is a defensive structure. We have the bailey down at the base of the moat, and that's where the inhabitants would have lived. And the moat itself, well, a great wooden palisade would have surrounded it, and the castle was situated here on the top of the moat. It's the highest in Ireland. It would have been built on a pre-existing structure. So it was built on the pre-existing O'Farrell fort. So it is quite high up here.
When did the Normans arrive?
The Normans arrived here in 1172. They slew the Gaelic chieftain O'Farrell and then went ahead to build their great moat and bailey to defend here against the wild native of the west of Ireland.
Perfect spot really then for the Heritage Centre. Tell me all about Knights and Conquests.
It's situated just at the foot of the moat and bailey here in Granard.
And their weaponry was incredible. Tell me about some of those.
They had various weapons that they would have used, the great swords. They were also skilled archers. They would have had these great Danish axes. They also would have had the various axes such as the raven heads, the raven hook axe, and it was actually designed to cut armour open. So yes, quite grim stuff.
They weren't always fighting, to be fair to them. Tell me what else they were up to when they were here.
They were quite the architects themselves. They actually invented how you build the stone arch. So yes, in the centre you can build your own stone arch and find out how it was actually put together with a keystone at the centre to hold the whole thing in place.
The museum also includes a section dedicated to one of Granard's most famous residents, Kitty Kiernan. Kitty's drawing room weaves together the town's history in the 1798 rebellion, as well as Kitty's role during the War of Independence, and of course her relationship with her fiancé, Michael Collins. further down towards the southern part of the county, I arrive at the breathtaking Longford Forest, where I'll be enjoying the incredible features at the Centre Parks. The resort offers activities suitable for any member of the family, from the creative crafters to the adrenaline junkies. With options like adventure golf, archery, fencing and roller skating, there is something here for everyone. And if you're looking to enjoy a refreshing dip, you can partake in water sports or take a relaxing swim at the subtropical swimming paradise, right in the centre of the resort. Heated to 85 degrees Fahrenheit all year round and decked in lush green tropical plants and trees, it's just brilliant. We have a saying here that Ireland would be the best country in the entire world if only we could put a roof on it. And that's exactly what they've done here. Outside you've got the beautiful woodland no matter what the season, but inside it's always tropical. Only a stone's throw away from the resort, I arrive at our next stop, which just happens to be the multi-award-winning village of Abbeyshrew. This hidden gem in the south of Longford is the site of the Abbeyshrew Cistercian Monastery, which dates back to the early 1200s. I'm here in Abbeyshrew to chat to Fiona and Michael at the Clohan Farm and Cookery School. I'm going to have a tour of the farm and try my hand at baking. If Fiona can teach me how to make a cake, she can teach anyone. Right, Fiona, what are we going to make?
Are you ready to get going?
Absolutely.
Good woman. So what we're going to make today is, with our lovely eggs that we have collected in the hen house, is we're going to make a lovely velvety sponge cake. How does that sound?
Nice, okay.
Absolutely delicious.
Very Irish as well, isn't it?
Yeah, sponge cake is around for years and years and years, and it will be around for years and years, and that's what we love about the sponge cake. Such a simple thing. So when we get started.
Such a simple thing, I love the way you say that.
Lovely.
Together?
Okay? Okay?
Okay.
Here goes.
So now we wait. How long do we wait for?
So what we're going to do is we're going to bake it in the oven for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Have you got your timer on?
No.
Okay.
I trust you to know when it's up, because you're going to look at them and you're going to know.
We will. Oh, that looks absolutely gorgeous. You must be so proud.
I think it looks pretty good, yeah.
And if I was a visitor coming to your house, wouldn't you feel now that you're very proud of what you did?
Absolutely.
That's what the cookery class is all about. And that's what I love to give back to the student.
Just a short distance from here, I get to explore an outstanding and sustainable initiative that promotes exercise and love for the great outdoors. The Royal Canal Greenway is 130 kilometres of level towpath, ideal for walkers, runners and cyclists of all ages and stages. Starting in cosmopolitan Maynooth, it follows the 200-year-old canal through friendly Enfield and lively Mullingar to charming Clondara in Longford, with cafes, picnic spots and attractions along the way. You can cycle straight through these scenic and varied landscapes and then return by train back to where you started. Another route along the Royal Canal is a really thought-provoking trail that tells the story of the Irish famine and the 1,500 emigrants who walked from Strokestown in Roscommon all the way to the Coffin Ships in Dublin in 1847. And what makes this trail interesting is that it tells the story of 12-year-old Daniel Tighe, who did make it to Dublin and all the way to Quebec. Either through the beauty of scenic landscapes or captivating layers of history and culture, both of these trails offer a truly immersive experience and a chance to explore the great outdoors. I'm going to chat with writer and documentary maker Monaghan McGann to learn more about what these initiatives mean for County Longford. Monaghan, tell me all about the Royal Canal Greenway.
The real gem, the sort of hidden part of Ireland that people don't know about, are the Midlands, and it was always hard to access. So it was this great idea. We had this amazing canal that was built like 200 years ago. It was built by this sort of ingenious idea of let's bring industry to the Midlands. This is like beginning in 1790. They built this entire canal, the Royal Canal, and then it sort of didn't work out. It was this massive flop. So in the last 20 years, the government have dug out the canal, let the water flow again, open up this walking and cycling route the whole way, basically from the Midlands, from Longford, from where we are now, Clondra, the whole way to Maynooth, which is, almost to Dublin.
So we very much use it for pleasure nowadays, but the Royal Canal was built for practical reasons.
The canal really opened up in 1817. Started work 1790, finishes, opened up a grand fanfare. But then in the 1840s, the railways come up. So by this stage already people aren't really using it. And so the main railway company, the Midland and Great Western Railway Company, they buy the whole canal. Not that they have interest in the canal, but they just want to put a railway running alongside it. So suddenly all of these old buildings had gone into decline. And we just thought, okay, that's part of our industrial architecture. It's part of our archaeology almost. It's gone until someone had the brainwave. Let's start walking, let's start cycling along it.
Do you have a favourite spot along the way?
I mean, it changes. The thing is, the minute you get along the Greenway, the minute you're out of a town or village, you are in this pristine nature. So it's a place where you're going to find herons and kingfishers and dragonflies and butterflies and just all sorts, the main trees that we have in Ireland, but still growing in that natural ecosystem where you'll have birches and hawthorns and oaks and ashes and elders all beside each other.
Do you prefer walking or cycling?
The speed you can do it on the bike is great, but then if you do walk, I get to see so much more. So it's hard to just. There's one other way that is like we don't think about and is amazing. Like look at the calmness and the smoothness of that water. It's perfect for kayaking, perfect for canoeing. And there's a few points along the way where you can hire kayaks and hire canoes. You can even hire barges, in fact, to do it in style. But that's a lot of work with all those locks. Like a lot of the locks have been automated, but it's still very slow. What as I said, 33 locks to be going through. Much easier, you take a kayak, you just walk around the lock and you're back on the route again.
My next stop takes me a bit further west into the county to one of the most popular destinations in Longford, where I'm taking a boat trip on the River Shannon before entering Lough Ree, the 5th largest loch in Ireland and one of the premier angling venues in the country. This must-see spot is studded with beautiful islands with a rich history of myths and legends. Before getting to explore Lough Ree, I'm going to be meeting my friends at Lough Ree Access for All, who offer activities such as angling, sightseeing and other water-based excursions for people with disabilities. They provide daily sailings for people with disability not only in Roscommon and Longford, but throughout the country and abroad. They're going to give me a lift up the River Shannon through Lough Ree and towards the beautiful Quaker Island. I'm going to talk to Alan Broderick from Lough Ree Access for All to hear more about the wonderful service they provide and also some insight into the history and beauty of the islands on Lough Ree. Alan, Lough Ree is just beautiful. I love now that it's actually accessible for everyone. This is your baby.
The boat, I suppose, came about because over the years I had many people with disability approach me to go fishing. And I have regular type of American boats, believe it or not, but no way could I get them on board the boat without literally lifting them or oxtercogging them on board, which was difficult, dangerous, and they also lost their independence and didn't want that. So the boat was conceived because I reckoned there had to be a better way.
It's the only boat of its kind between Ireland and England.
This is the only boat of its type between the UK and Ireland that is built and designed and laid out specifically for people with reduced mobility and wheelchair users.
And how did you go about actually building the boat?
We went from parts of the United States looking at boats that had landing craft type of arrangements like a front loading ramp, but they were all very industrial, not really suited to our purposes for vulnerable people. And eventually we settled on a guy on the island of Saaremaa off the coast of Estonia. So that's how far we went.
How important is it to have something like this, do you think?
I won't say this lightly, but I believe it's life-changing because they say for the first time ever they're now seeing barriers down and they're accessing waters like the iconic Shannon and Lough Ree here that they could never get on before. So that has to be a major tick in our favour.
What makes Lough Ree so special?
It's 29,000 acres in surface area, which is enormous. And it's around 20 miles north to south down to Athlone at the southern end, 11, 12 miles at its widest part, And if you look along the shoreline here, it really is wild and unspoiled and underdeveloped. And to me, that's the essence of the beauty of the place. You can actually just come out of where you launch your boat, if you're in a canoe, a kayak, a regular boat, or this one, and you're in wilderness, in the middle of Ireland.
Do you think people will get hooked on fishing, excuse the pun?
A day out on the lake isn't it a family sort of thing? Bring your picnic, bring your fishing rod, go and visit an island. So you can't beat it.
I was on the Circle Line in America 4 times. So when they can do it in America, why couldn't they do it here? And the Circle Line is a one for all boat, like, you know, it's a general passenger boat, like physically disabled or able-bodied can use this boat together, and there's no contraptions, you know, to say that there's a disabled person on board, or, you know, it's unique. You just roll on, roll off.
Quaker Island, also known as Inchclaren, was founded in 540 AD by Saint Diarmid and is considered to be where the mighty Queen Maeve of Connacht lived and died during the 1st century. The settlement was a place of learning and pilgrimage for centuries and contains the ruins of 6 churches, graveyards and a fort. These churches are listed as national monuments and are protected structures. It is also said that during the 18th century a Quaker man lived on the island, hence the island's name. Lisa, tell me about the history of the island.
The name behind Inchclaren goes as far back to the 1st century, when Queen Maeve landed on the island after her husband, the King of Connacht, died, and she retired here. And she was also killed here in her retirement from a slingshot on the shoreline. St Diarmid and his disciples came to the island and founded Temple Moor and Temple Diarmid here around the mid to late 5th century. And it was fairly peaceful until the 9th century, when the Norsemen came and they used it as their chief stronghold for attacks on the Longford shoreline and Roscommon shoreline, and as far as Clonmacnoise. St Diarmid's traditions fully passed away in the 13th century, leaving behind the 7 churches of this monastic settlement.
So all the locals call the island Quaker Island. Where does that come from?
Quaker Island comes from a man of the Quaker religion. His name was Mr. Fairbrother. When he came to the island first, he took stones from some of the ruins of the churches, and the animals all went wild from the act of vengeance that Diarmid put upon Mr. Fairbrother. And after that, Mr. Fairbrother vowed not to take another stone from any of the ruins from the island, and all his animals returned to normality, and he lived peacefully well into old age on the island.
What do people love most when they come to visit?
Just the serenic beauty of the place. Yeah, you can't get better than this, can you?
Only a short distance from here is another popular spot where you can immerse yourself in the rich cultural history and traditions of Ireland at the Ardagh Heritage Village and Creative Ardagh Centre. A renovated schoolhouse built in 1898, the centre houses an exciting exhibition where you can discover the complex fabric that wove life in Ardagh over the ages. From the roots of the village set in Irish mythology to its development as an important early church site. Not far from the Heritage Centre is the town of Edgeworthstown, which is famous for one very adrenaline-fueling attraction, Midland karting. This go-karting, paintball and simulator racing centre is a great way for you to get your heart racing. Consisting of a 1,000-yard outdoor karting track, the centre is also fully floodlit for racing all year round. Another famous attraction in Edgeworthstown, and one of Ireland's best kept literary secrets, is the Maria Edgeworth Centre. Housed in one of the oldest schools built in Ireland dating back to 1840, this interpretive centre celebrates the literary heritage of Edgeworthstown. Visitors here get to uncover the rich history of Ireland's early education system and the role played by the Edgeworth family. Heading a little bit further north now, I'm en route to the town of Longford, where my next stop is bound to offer some spectacular sights of the surrounding scenery. A cultural landmark in the town centre that you cannot miss, St Mel's Cathedral was founded in 1840 and was considered the flagship cathedral of the Midlands region. In 2009, the cathedral suffered a horrible fire on Christmas Day, and after a 5-year restoration campaign was able to reopen for Christmas 2014. Tastefully restored to its original beauty, the cathedral was also remodelled to serve as a living church, with new features like wonderful limestone columns, intricate plasterwork and a pipe organ. Regarded as one of the finest Catholic churches in all of Ireland, it's not hard to see why. The cathedral's restoration also allowed for the installation of liturgical art from a number of contemporary Irish and international artists. I'm going to meet with Father McKiernan to learn more about what visitors can find in this beautiful spot. Father James, St Mel's is probably one of Longford's most visited tourist attractions. How many people would you get visiting every year?
I suppose if you were to try to put into numbers, you would be talking about thousands of visitors, because I suppose Longford, it's a very iconic building just on the periphery of the town, so people passing through before bypasses and all the rest, everyone had to come through the town heading west, so people would be very aware of the building. But we had this enormous fire in 2009 and we gained a lot of international attention because of that. And since the cathedral has been restored, our numbers have increased substantially every year. Many thousands of people have come to see the rebuilt cathedral.
Tell me about the fire.
On Christmas Eve 2009, after our midnight mass, beknownst to anybody, a fire had started at the very back of the building here. They'd think the fire might have started maybe around midnight or even before midnight, but it wasn't noticed until 4:45 in the morning. So it had been burning profusely for several hours before actually anyone spotted it. And by the time it was discovered and the fire service and all got here, the whole building had been engulfed. And the end result was the entire building, apart from the four walls, were completely destroyed.
And it was rebuilt then in less than 5 years.
It took them a bit of time to assess the damage, find the cause, make the building safe. So really, I suppose you're talking about 4 years to rebuild.
And actually one thing you can't miss are the windows. Tell me about those.
A man by the name of Kemen Young, he's a Korean Jesuit priest. He was commissioned to design the windows for the building here. Very modern, stained glass, a lot of very vibrant colour. And his whole idea was to try to draw that colour into the building and allowing the sun to bring the colour in through the glass.
You're a local priest as well, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a native of the town. I'm a little bit unusual. Where we're standing here, the front door of my house is 1 mile. So I was baptised here, confirmed, had my ordination here. My mother's funeral was here. Everything happened here in this cathedral.
And who was St Mel?
St Mel would have been the very first bishop of the diocese here, and he was ordained a bishop by St Patrick. He lived in a small village called Arda, from where the diocese derives its name, Arda and Clonmacnoise. But in the village of Arda was the original cathedral of the diocese, and it served for several hundred years until it was destroyed in about the 16th century. And up here on the very front of the building, carved in stone up here, is the installation of St Mel as Bishop of the diocese.
I think St Mel would be very proud of the job you've done. Will we have a look around?
Absolutely, you're very, very welcome to come and look at St Mel's Cathedral.
In the town of Longford, you will also find the magnificent Backstage Theatre, an important establishment which first opened its doors in 1995. This state-of-the-art theatre was a community-driven project designed to promote the development of the arts regionally by presenting a high-quality, diverse and innovative programme of arts activities. With iconic productions including Alice in Wonderland and School of Rock, the Backstage Theatre is a treasure for both locals and visitors to Longford. I'm headed now to a boutique gem tucked away in the middle of County Longford. Viewmont House has so much to explore and serves as the perfect escape from busy city life. A luxurious country estate with a 17th century manor, complete with open fires, extravagant furniture, fresh flowers and Irish literature. The manor has been restored to maintain its stately historic charm while incorporating modern luxury and comfort, so visitors can enjoy treating themselves to the fullest relaxation experience. This place really is the perfect spot to stay on any trip to Longford. You've got the history of the house, but it's also really comfortable. It's like an elegant home from home. And it's set on 4 acres of the most spectacular gardens. Look at this place. Originally built in 1620 by Lord Francis Ainger, Viewmont House was converted in the mid-1700s to a Georgian style. It also counts an extensive list of outdoor spaces just waiting to be explored. From lawns to ponds, from orchards to herb gardens, the grounds offer a range of spaces, each with its own distinctive feel. One of the most popular spots is the peaceful Japanese garden, a must-see for all visitors. The perfect place to stay and enjoy the comforts and beauties Longford has to offer, not to mention the 4 acres of spectacular, well-designed gardens for you to stroll or relax in. It's not hard to imagine how you can make the most of your visit at Viewmont House. Well, that's it for our visit to County Longford. We hope you've enjoyed the history and heritage of our hidden heartlands. Join us next time as we continue our journey around Ireland, county by county.
Ireland County by County is brought to you in part by Longford County Council, Longford Tourism, Ireland's Department of Foreign Affairs, the National Parks and Wildlife Services, Board Bia, the Irish Food Board, the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage.
CIE Tours, sharing the magic of Ireland for nearly 90 years.